Good morning, everyone. So, I guess it's one of the first times we woke up so soon in this quarantine. This brings me to the most important topic of the day, which is yoga. I assume everyone present here is aware of how important the vital yoga is, especially in this time. So, yoga is magical and relaxing not only for physical body but also for our mental health. So we are living in a life wherein no medicines can protect us. Yeah. Our lives entirely depend on our food habits, fitness, mental being, and the most important is immune system. So this is where the yoga comes in. So in this 1 hour, let's rejuvenate ourselves. Before we start off, I request Principal Dr. Bhavesh Patel to share a few words.
Thank you, Forum. Okay. Very happy morning to all of you. Uh, it's a great day today that we are going live for a yoga program. And I must thank today's trainer, Adhikari, for joining us live on this session in a short notice. And ACMW shall be congratulated with IT department and the team for having been thought of this initiative in very much needed time in during the pandemic. Everybody in today's time is looking forward for increase in immunity, which will help to fight with the novel coronavirus. And everybody is also looking out for the different ways and means by which they can learn the yoga, because yoga is going to play a very important role in boosting immunity. So this is the right time because children are at home, students are at home, and they are doing online sessions, not able to meet because yoga is supposed to be done on. It is said that yoga is supposed to be done on supervision, under supervision, and there are some asanas which can be done on their own also. And it is not that you learn today or do it today and then forget it, which is what most of the people do it. It requires an continuous process. So every day, if you just spend every day 15 minutes to 30 minutes, it will boost your immunity, and it will give you a better health. And now with this corona, the people have learned one thing, that if you really want to fight with any disease, you need to have good immunity. And immunity comes with the naturally with the yoga, which is very Asian practice in India, which is now accepted over the world, across the globe. By celebrate last few years, the even UN is celebrating the global yoga day, international yoga day, and people take active part into that. So I wish everyone, all those who are doing, let us continue doing every day. All the newcomers who are joining this session, this session is really going to be very wonderful, and it will motivate you to do the same exercises every day. So keep you all healthy and being safe at home. And really, you will able to fight with the coronavirus. And let's enjoy the day. And it will be a good beginning of not only the day but throughout the life by learning and practicing yoga every day. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Now I would like a faculty sponsor, Swati Natkani ma'am, to share a few words.
Good morning, everybody. It is my pleasure to address all of you at the start of the session. And I'm sure everybody is eagerly waiting for the session to start. So I'll only say a few words. First of all, let me take this opportunity to thank our principal, Dr. Bhavesh Patel, sir, and the management of Shayan Anchor Kutch Engineering College to give us an opportunity to have this session, because as told by others also, it is really the need of the hour, where in this pandemic everybody is having lot of panic, and there is lot of anxiety in everybody. There is a lot of physical as well as mental stress, and yoga being one of the solutions to these problems, I believe that it could actually help each and every one of us. And this could be the first step, I would say, towards a healthy living. So I'm really very thankful to Pratishruta madam to having accepted our invitation to have this session, and I'm sure all of us will be enlightened with her session. and we all should promise that it should not be that only on this day that we do the session, but have it as a part of our life every day for the rest of our lives. So thank you everyone.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Now I would like to introduce our yoga coach for the today, Pratishtita Adhikari ma'am. She is yoga therapist and a wellness coach. So she's completed teachers training certification from Yoga Vidya Gurukul, which is in Nashik. She has attended Hatha Yoga courses, Nikam Guruji Yoga Center in Singapore. She has secured MSc in Yoga degree with first class distinction from Bangalore Yoga University. She has participated in various marathons in Singapore as well as in India. She has also conducted many workshops and taught yoga. She has also conducted various sessions uh, in Asian Paints and Godrej Properties and various other organizations. So she is ready to conduct a 1 hour webinar on the weekend from her busy schedule. Usually she charges for these training sessions, but here she is going to conduct the session without any charges. So now I would like to hand over the session to our yoga coach of the day. Over to you, ma'am.
Very good morning to one and all. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, the organizer, for inviting and welcoming me for the today's session. This is a Sunday morning, and I'm glad that you people are with a very good strength for the yoga session. Sir rightly said that yoga should not be only for the one session. It should be your lifestyle. Yoga should be practiced every day. It's not only for the pandemic situations, but every day one should connect with the body and the mind. That connection happens on the mat. Today we will be taking few asanas or few breathing techniques to increase our immunity, which is good in this pandemic situation. First of all, Patanjali, the sage Patanjali in Yoga Sutra says that Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. It means yoga is to control or to change the modifications of the mind. Our mind is every time continuously jumping from one thought to another. That's why it is called as the monkey mind. Here in yoga, what happens? It is not only affecting on your body, but it is affecting on your mind. The asanas has been structured in such a way that it goes to the cellular level, it goes to the glandular level. So yoga is working on the mind along with the body. People ask me that whether weight loss will happen with the yoga or not, whether I will become thin or different changes will I see from the yoga practices and all that. Yoga is such a self-experiential subject. Unless and until you are not practicing it, you will not be able to understand the benefits of the yoga. Whatever the theory I will be giving here, but unless and until you are not practicing, you are not moving your limbs, you are not breathing properly, you will not be able to understand the benefits of the yoga. In Taittiriya Upanishad, it has been said that mana prasho mana payo yoga ityabhidete. It means all the modifications of the mind, whatever the stress, anxiety, depression, all these mental vyadhis has been reduced or has been cured with the help of the yoga practice. Today's, due to the lifestyle changes or due to our work culture, we have changed our habits and the internal organization so much that we have disturbed everything, and all the systems are very well connected. When we say engineering, you all are working on the outer engineering, but most of the people are not aware of the inner engineering. Inner engineering starts when you start practicing the yoga. So today we will be taking some of the asanas. Get ready. Sitting in any comfortable posture, sitting in a meditative posture like Siddhasan, Padmasan or half Padmasan. If you can switch your video on, I will be able to see you people in some of the postures. Sit in a comfortable posture. Make sure your spine is erect. Drop your shoulders and observe your breath. Give some time to calm yourself. Observe your abdominal movements. Observe your chest movements. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. One more time. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. We will chant one Omkar here. Inhale. Observe the post-chanting effects, the vibrations. Stay there in the same mudra, same position.
ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीय मामृतात्
Before starting the practice, make a firm resolve in your mind towards your health, physical as well as mental health. A resolve should be positive statement, repeated 3 times.
त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीय
Observe the whole body right from the top of the head to the tips of the toes. Shift your mind on different body parts. Keep all your stress, worries, tensions aside and just focus on your breathing. Gently release the mudras, rub your palms, shift them on your eyes. Do not touch the eyeballs, just keep the palms there, cupping only, and then gently hands down. Touch each and every body part and then gently relax. Turn your head to the left side. We will do some neck movement, turning your head to the left side. But make sure your spine is in the erect position, chin in line with the left shoulder. Slowly start turning your head to the left side. As much as you can see towards the left side as per your capacity. Gently bring your head back to the center and then slowly start turning your head to the right side. Loosen your neck from both directions, left and the right side. Gently bring your head back to the center. Throw your head back. Look at the ceiling. Feel the nice compression at the back of your neck. Keep your jaws together. Mouth closed. Gently bring your head back to the center. A very slow movement. Bring your head back to the center. And then slowly start looking down. Bring your head down. Make sure your spine is in the erect position. Do not drop the spine. When your spine is straight, your brain becomes alert. Feel the nice stretching at the back of your neck. Drop your shoulders completely. Good. Gently bring your head back to the center. Then slowly start moving your head to the left side. Feel the nice stretching of the nerves on the right side as much as you can. You don't have to force yourself. In yoga, there should not be any force. Gently back to the center. Turn your head to the right side. Go slow. Observe the changes. Most of the times the stress is getting accumulated on your neck and the shoulders. Come back to the center slowly and gently. Slowly start moving your neck in clockwise and anti-clockwise direction. One round clockwise, one round anti-clockwise. You have to visualize one circle and try to touch each and every point on that circle. Going slow is the key. Don't force yourself too much. 3 rounds. One round clockwise, one round anti-clockwise. Most of the muscular tension, emotional tension, mental tension gets accumulated on the shoulders and the neck muscles. So first of all, loosening should happen from the neck muscles. If you feel dizziness, discomfort, you can stop the practice. Go with your own comfort. Feel the points where you feel the stiffness, hardness. Once you finish 3 rounds, come back to the center. Bring your head back to the center. Once you finish, come back to the center. Now, open your eyes, raise both hands up. Bring both hands up. Bringing the hands up should not be a mechanical movement. It should be completely involving your shoulder joint. Open your chest, raise your hands up, interlock the fingers here, stretch the hands up, palms facing towards the roof. Keep your head in the center. Normal distance between chin and neck. Lock your elbows and stay there. Look at one point in front of your eyes. Become taller. Good. Stay there. Hold. Feel the nice stretch of the upper back. Gently inhale here and then slowly start turning towards the left side. Go slow. Check your time. Make sure the hands are straight. Do not bend the elbows. Feel the nice opening at the right side. Good. Come back to the center and then slowly start bending laterally towards the right side. Going slow. No forceful movement, no jerky movement. Come back to the center and then gently hands down. Observe the changes. A small movement, a slight movement will feel the experience, or you will experience the different changes. Now, left hand behind the back. I am bringing my left hand behind the back. Curl the hand behind the back. With the right hand, you can bring the left palm on the thigh if it is reaching. It's not compulsory, so that the palm will reach towards the thigh. Reach wherever you can. Hold your left knee with the right hand and then slowly start giving the twist to the spine. Look from your left shoulder and twist your spine towards the left side. Good. Use the grip of the knee to twist your spine towards the left side. Gently come back to the center. Now right hand will go back. Hold your right knee with the left hand and then slowly start twisting your body towards the right side. Go slow. Check your time. The spine movement should happen every day. Twisting, stretching, come back to the center. Release the hand, come back to the center. Now raise both hands up. When I am saying raising both hands up, make sure your abdomen goes in, the chest opens, stretch the hands nicely, open up the armpits. Stretch the hands nicely. Exhaling, slowly start bending forward. How will you bend forward? First, keep the palms on the floor. Slowly start walking on the fingers. Walk on the fingers, lengthen the spine more and more. Don't be in a hurry to bring the head down. Bringing the elbows down, bend from the waist, abdomen goes down, chest goes down, and then slowly start bringing the head down. Go slow. Complete elongation of the spine. Elongate your spine more and more. Go slow. Take your time. Inhale here and then gently hands up, all the way coming up. Bring the hands down and then release. Relax. Did you feel the changes in the body after Sukshma Vyayam? Now straighten both legs. Sit straight. Straighten both legs sitting in Dandasana. This is the relaxation posture in sitting position. Dandasana. Bring your hands behind the back. Bring your hands behind the back, behind both buttocks, and then slowly start moving your feet sideways. Shaking your legs and moving your feet sideways. Leg loosening exercises or vyayam you can say. Just start moving the feet. Separate each and every toe. Your awareness should be on the body parts. Slowly start rotating your feet in a clockwise and anti-clockwise direction. Loosen the ankle joint. Gently, opposite side. There is a prana shakti which is flowing throughout the body. When there are blockages in the flow of the prana, the disease occurs. Our mind becomes contracted. So all these loosening exercises are very important. Stop the movement. Grab your thigh here. Grab your thigh. Interlock the fingers. Hold your left leg at the knee. Grab your thigh and then gently start bending the leg at the knee. Straighten the leg. Bend the leg at the knee. Straighten the leg. One more time. Warming up your knee joint. Most of the times the whole weight comes on your knees. On the other side, 3 to 4 rounds on each side. Grab your thigh. Make sure the spine is erect. Sit straight. Bend the knee nicely. Lock the knee. Toes flexing towards you. And then gently release. Relax. Next. Feet together. Bring your feet together. Sit on the both buttock bones. Adjust your sitting position in such a way that you are pressing both the buttock bones to the floor. Feet are together, knees together. Bring your knees together. Gently start pressing the knees down. Again, knees together. Bring your knees down. This opens up the inner thighs, the tight hamstrings. Bring the knees down. One more round. Bring the knees down and then gently stop. Now grab your feet. Grab your feet or the toes and then slowly start shaking the legs. Do the movement. Make sure the spine is in the erect position. Every time I will instruct you or guide you to bring your spine in the erect position. Gently stop. This works on the pelvic region. This works on the urinary bladder as well. Those who are suffering from the urinary disorders will get benefited with the Titli Asana. Now grab your toes, grab your feet tightly here. Inhale here, throwing your head back. Exhaling, slowly start bending forward. First, see how I am bending forward. I am pushing my legs with the help of the elbows. I am extending the spine in a very slow movement and then gently start bringing the head down. Reach wherever you can. Don't force your body too much. Inhaling, coming up, exhaling, going down. You have to practice this asana with breathing. This will open up your muscles. Okay, we'll try 2 more rounds. Inhale, take a deep breath. Exhaling, extend your spine, bend from the waist. Start pushing your knees down, hips down. Go slow as per your capacity. Don't force yourself too much. Be kind to your spine in the back. Inhale here and then gently coming up. Check your time. Always try to do 75% of your capacity, not the 100% initially. Inhale. Take a deep breath. Exhaling, going down. Go slow. Check your time. Gently start bringing the head down. Reach wherever you can. Inhale here and then gently coming up. Slowly coming up and then relax. Coming to the standing position. Coming into the standing position. Which is important is how do you stand. Most of the times we are not aware of the standing posture or we are not aware how we are distributing the weight. Here you have to press your feet completely flat on the floor. Press the feet completely flat on the floor. Open each and every toe. Open up each and every toe. Activate the little toe as well. Press the feet firmly on the ground. Now distribute your weight equally on both feet. Most of the times people are having the tendency to stand only on one leg. So the whole weight goes on one leg. Blood circulation changes. And how do you will come to know? By checking their footwear. So every time the weight should get distributed on both feet. Man is a two-legged animal. So the whole weight comes on both feet. The outer part of the heel, the outer part of the foot should be completely flat on the floor. Now, bring your abdomen in, chest open, roll back the shoulders, bring the hands by the sides of your body and keep your head in the center and look straight. This is the initial position for the standing asanas. Press the feet nicely with awareness. This time press the toes, lock the knees here and then gently release. Now interlock the fingers here, raise the hands up, interlock the fingers, turn your palms facing towards the roof, lock your wrist joint, lock your elbow joint and then slowly start raising your heels up. Come up on the toes, come on the tip of the toes. Good. Balance yourself, balance yourself. Balance is most important in life. Good, good. And then gently down. We'll practice one more time. All the balancing asanas are good for your brain. Neurological operations. Interlock the fingers once again. Raise your hands up. Stretch the body fully, nicely. When you work for a long sitting hours or in a one position, this stretch helps you to open up your back. Gently down. Now Tiryak Tadasana. Slowly start moving your hands towards the left side, lateral bend. Feel the nice stretch on the right side. Good. Come back to the center. Now slowly start turning towards the right side. Go slow. Check your time. And then gently back to the center. Relax. Forward bend we will be taking. See the lateral position. Raising both hands up. Bring both hands up. Exhale. Make sure your knees are locked. Press the feet firmly on the ground. Bring your hips back. And then stretch the hands nicely first. Elongate the spine more and more. And then gently bringing the head down. Going slow. Bring the hands down. Reach wherever you can. Look at your toes. See your toes and stay there. Hold it. Bring the hands down. Lock the knees. Take the abdomen in. Inhale here. Gently hands up. Go slow. Check your time. Make sure the hands are straight. The legs are locked. Knees are locked. Bring your hands up. Exhale. Again bending forward. Go slow. Take your time. Bring the hands down. Bend forward. Observe the changes in your breathing. Observe the changes in your blood circulation. Observe the changes at the back of your legs. Each and every nerve is getting a wonderful stimulation here. Inhale here and then gently coming up. And then slowly release. Now again we will be taking one balancing asana that is called as the Vrikshasana, tree pose. See the position? Standing on the left, hold your right leg. Now it again depends on your comfort, flexibility. You can keep the foot on at the side of your shin bone. You can keep it on the thigh as well. Now raising both hands up, stretch the hands nicely and then concentrate your gaze at one point in front of your eyes. That will give you a good balance. Again I am saying balance is most important. All these balancing asanas work on the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere of your brain. Hold it there. I will be giving the count. Hold 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then gently release. The definition of the asana in Patanjali's Yoga Sutra is Sthiram Sukham Asana. It means the posture should be very steady. You should have a concentration. Then it should be a Sukham. It should give you happiness. Sthira Sukham Asana on the other side. Every posture has to be practiced on both sides to bring the balance and harmony. Stand on the right, hold your left leg, bring the hands above the head. Stretch the hands nicely, balance your body, balance your weight on one leg, Make sure the knee is long. Good. Hold it there. Concentrate at one point. Do not look down. The center of gravity changes. Put it there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then gently hands down. Good. Relax. Come into the sitting position. Tired? You need a break? Okay, coming into the sitting position. Sit in Vajrasana. Those who are having the knee issues can sit in a Sukhasana, in a simple cross-leg position. Don't strain your knees. Okay? Vajrasana is good for the digestion. It is good for improving the blood circulation in your legs. Those people who are suffering the weak legs or their legs are having the deformity will get cured with the Vajrasana. Now, in Vajrasana, raising both hands up again. Whenever I say raise both hands up, the pose starts from here. Taking the abdomen in, chest should get open, stretch the hands nicely, look straight, and then bending forward. When I am bending forward, first see, when I am bending forward, I am not lifting the buttocks off the heels. I am bringing the buttocks on the heels. Those who are having the tummy, jinko tummy hai, those can keep the V shape in the knees. Distance in between both the knees. Inhale here, exhaling, first keep the palms down, walk on your fingers, lengthen the spine here, don't drop your head down immediately, stretch the hands nicely and then bring the head down. Okay, so here stay there, hold the position. Here you get the massaging effect to the abdominal organs here. All the middle parts are getting a massaging effect against when they are pressing against the thighs. Normal breathing here once you are into the position. This position is good for controlling your blood pressure, either high or low. Inhale here and then slowly come up. Inhale, slowly come up and then gently hands down. Relax. Relax. We will be taking one sitting asana now, which is called as the animal relaxation posture. See what happens, it is a very interesting thing in yoga that in ancient days, the rishis and the sages used to live in forest. They used to do meditation, they used to find it out the meaning of this life or what kind of the life message is giving. So while observing the animals, they found that these yogic postures are nothing but relaxation postures. How do animals relax themselves? Have you seen the dog, how it stretches? The same position in asana is, which is called as a downward dog. They stretch the complete spine, they stretch their legs. So this is how relaxation happens. Here also, the name of the posture or the asana is called as the animal relaxation posture, which is called as the Saithalyasana. So this is again a good relaxation posture. If you are continuously working throughout the day and you will be doing this asana, you will feel the changes on your back and the front. How I am sitting, see the position first. First I will demonstrate and then you practice. Okay. First, left leg in a simple cross leg position. I was sitting in a Sukhasana. Then I changed the leg, right leg in half Vajrasana. Left leg in a simple cross leg position where my left foot is touching to the inner thigh. Where my left foot is touching to the inner thigh. I am turning my body towards the left side. See the position first. I am turning my body towards the left side. What will happen in this posture? That you are turning from the west. So this flexibility will increase. Raising both hands up, stretching the hands again. Exhaling, slowly start bringing the palms down. Now, first the abdomen goes down, it touches the thighs, then chest goes down, touches the knees, and then slowly start and bringing the head down. Hands goes down and then bringing the head down. In the final posture, the chin touches the knee, the forehead touches the floor. So, the spine gets completely flat. It becomes parallel to the floor. That is the objective of this asana, which is called as the animal relaxation posture or Saithalyasana. We'll practice it now. Get ready. Left leg in a simple cross leg position. Right leg in Vajrasana. Every time the spine is in the erect position. Turn your body. Twist your body towards the left side. Raising both hands up. Exhale. Slowly start bringing the palms down. Keep the hands down. Slowly start walking on the palms, lengthen the spine, and then gently start bringing the head down without lifting the buttocks off the floor. Good. Stay there, hold. I will be giving the count. Holding the posture is most important to get the benefits. Hold it there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale here and then gently hands up. Bring the hands up, come back to the sthiti. Now, the next challenging thing is that I will be bending towards the right side, towards the right leg without changing the leg position. The leg position is same. The spine has been structured, the human spine has been structured in such a way that it can bend towards all the directions. Back bend, forward bend, twisting, stretching, everything can happen. Spine is so flexible. But because of the restricted movements, because of our work culture, or how do you see incorrect postures, engagement of the wrong muscles, unused muscles, we are loosening all the capacity of the spine, and that's why all the nervous system related disorders are arising much and more. So here we will be turning, raising both hands up, bringing the palms down, walk on your fingers, lengthen the spine, start walking on the fingers and bringing the head down. Going slow. You will not be having that much range to go towards the right side. That's fine. That's why we are taking the support of the floor. Walk on the fingers, lengthen the spine here and then bring the head down. Reach wherever you can. Good. Good. When you start moving your body, your mind also becomes getting fresh. Gently hold it there for 3 counts. 3, 2, 1. And then gently up. Change the leg position now. Change the leg position. Right leg in a simple cross leg position, left leg in half Vajrasana. Turning the body towards the right side first. Turn the body towards the right side first. Raise both hands up. Exhale. Slowly start bending forward. Push the palms. Walk on your fingers. Make sure your abdomen touches the thigh. Your chest, bring on knee and then try to touch your chin to the knee, forehead to the ground. Relax yourself. Animal relaxation posture. In Sanskrit, it is called as the Saithilyasana. Hold it there. 3, 2, 1. Inhale here and then gently coming up. Yogasanas work on the hormonal system as well, hormonal balancing. Raising both hands up, turn it to the left side, on the opposite side. Keep the palms down, walk on the fingers. You have to adjust the body according to your comfort. Stretch the hands nicely and then slowly start bringing the head down. Going slow is the key. Keep your breathing normal throughout the practice. You don't have to force yourself or bring your breathing in a very fast manner. Good. Hold it there. 3, 2, 1. Inhale and then gently come up. Good job done. How are you feeling? Any pain, strain, any questions? I would be happy to hear the questions. So these are just a demonstration of few of the asanas, how efficiently, how intelligently you have to move your body. Movement of the body is most important. Nowadays, sitting is the new smoking, we can say. So all these movements brings freshness in the mind. It changes your attitude, your behavior. That's why Yogasana has been created or the structured by the sages. Most of the times, I'm actually, my specialization is in yoga therapy. I give the yoga therapy to the patients who are suffering through lifestyle disorders. What are these lifestyle disorders? Now, hypertension, diabetes, arthritis, asthma, and most importantly, the psychosomatic disorders. All the diseases start from the mind. In yoga, we say like body is not stiff, mind is stiff. Most of the things start from here. So we work from at Pratiswastha Yoga, at my center, we give the therapy depending on the 5 layers of the human personality or the existence of our human, the 5 layers. What are these 5 levels? First is the physical layer. So we are doing the asanas, we are doing the kriyas or the different movements, Shithilikaran Vyayam, Sukshma Vyayam. The second layer of our existence is Pranamaya Kosha. You know that the prana flows throughout the body continuously from the birth itself to the death. Continuously the prana shakti flows throughout the body. If there are any imbalance in the flow of the prana, the diseases occur. And how these blockages or the imbalance comes? Due to the mental culturing. Due to the mental imbalance, the blockages comes inside, and then that is the invitation for the disease. That is the second layer of our existence, which is called as the pranamaya kosha. So whenever I am saying I am Pratishruta, I am not only this body. I am at a physical layer, that is the Annamaya Kosha, then second is the Pranamaya Kosha, and the third most importantly is the Manomaya Kosha. How your mind is culturing. What is your reaction to stress situation? Whenever any demanding situation comes, how you respond, how you talk, how you behave, what is your attitude towards different people, different situations. That is, everything is at the Manomaya Kosha. This is the main culprit or the root cause of each and every mental as well as the physical disorders. Manomaya Kosha. My yoga therapy starts from the Manomaya Kosha. First culturing the mind and then practicing the other things. And then the last two are the Vijnanmaya Kosha and the Anandamaya Kosha. Vijnanmaya is where the intellect starts happening. Due to the education system, we are so much working on the left side of the brain. We are grossly neglected of the right side of the brain. So there should be a harmony between the left side of the brain functioning and the right side of the brain functioning. In yoga, both things get balanced. Harmony comes. And the last is the Anandamaya Kosha, which is our true nature. We have forgotten that our true nature is becoming happy, just happiness, just bliss. I know that there are different stress, or like you have tensions and everything, but still you should connect yourself every day for a few minutes, sit in any kind of the meditative posture, do some loosening exercises, do some pranayam, give some time to yourself so that you can introspect yourself, you can analyze your thoughts and you can reconstruct your thoughts. People say that I am relaxing. And what is the definition of their relaxation? Having a cup of tea or watching a television on the Netflix or any movies or hanging out. These are not the relaxation. Relaxation happens when you start the journey going inward. Okay, and the last is Anandamaya Kosha. So these are the 5 layers of the personality existence, and yoga therapy works on these 5 layers. We will do some breathing practice today. The very most you can say beneficial golden level of pranayam is called as the Nadi Shuddhi pranayam, alternate nostril breathing. First, understand the physiology behind the alternate nostril breathing. Are you aware that most of the times you are only breathing through one nostril? How many of you are aware that you are only breathing through one nostril? We have 2 nostrils, but most of the times breathing happens through only one nostril. It gets reset. This is a very rare chance that you are breathing through both the nostrils. So whenever there is a sunset or at 12 o'clock when the sun comes by or sunrise, that time our nostrils start switching from left to right, and it is very rare that both the nostrils start functioning. So the sages and the yogis say that the harmony or the balance will come at the physical and the mental level when you start breathing through both the nostrils. So we have a technique. जैसे switch रहता है, switch on करना है, switch off करना है. That is the thing we will be doing here with the help of the pranayama. Taking pranam mudra of your right hand. I hope everyone is visible of the mudra I am telling you. First, this is the right hand. Every time the pranayam has to be practiced through the right hand only, because all our spiritual practices or rituals in our worshipping deities and all that we do with the right hand. So pranayam is a very pure process which has to be practiced with the right hand. 2 fingers at the base of the thumb. 2 fingers at the base of the thumb, last 2 fingers outstretched, thumb outstretched. This is called as the Pranava Mudra or the Vishnu Mudra or Omkara Mudra, you can say. So, sitting again in an erect way. Every time, keep aware that your spine is in the erect position. Closing left hand in Dhyana Mudra. This is Dhyana Mudra, which is the mudra of meditation or concentration. Bringing the hand in Dhyana Mudra. Why we are keeping the left hand in Dhyana Mudra? Because we are playing with the prana. Prana should not go away from the body. So we are locking it with the mudra. Mudras are nothing but the energy lock. Then I will be closing my right nostril here with the gentle pressing of the thumb. People give so much force here, apply a pressure. No, there is a bone here. At the end of the nose, there is a nose bone here. You have to gently press the thumb here. Inhale through the left, closing left nostril. Transfer the air from the left to the right and exhale fully through the right. Then again inhale through the right, close right, exhale left. In this way, you will be inhaling through one nostril, transfer the air to the other nostril, long and slow exhalation through the other nostril, then again inhale through that nostril, transfer the air to the other nostril, and then exhalation. You will be doing 10 rounds here, 10 rounds of alternate nostril breathing. Any questions, doubts, you can ask me.
In chat box, there is a question from Abhishek Pandey. Ma'am, how much time we need to give yoga and pranayam separately per day?
See, if you structure your yogic session, first you should do the loosening exercises, which we have done, Sukshma Vyayam, then do some asanas. Due to the time limit, we are not able to do all the asanas, but do some asanas on the supine, that is on your back first. How as a child we have grown. हमारी ग्रोथ कैसी हुई है, पहले हम बच्चे जब थे, जब स्मॉल बेबी थे, we were on the back. So do some asanas on the back first. Then come up on your tummy, फिर बच्चा टमी पे आ जाता है. So all the asanas of the tummy, then बच्चा बैठ जाता है. Then we have to do on the sitting, doing some sitting asanas and then some standing asanas. After that, after doing the asanas, have some shavasana relaxation of 2 minutes, and after that you should do the practice of pranayam. Pranayam should be done initially, it should not be done too much for the too much longer duration, because pranayam needs that kind of the strength. So you should do the pranayam for 15 to 20 minutes, not more than that if you are at the initial beginner stage. Okay, pranayam is there. Then meditation, if you want, you can do after later on that. And then you can, so ideally 45 minutes or 30 minutes should be, yoga should be done. But I request or I suggest that it is good to practice it under the competent teacher or some instructor, because initially the posture alignment, how you are doing the movements, everything matters a lot. Otherwise the injuries, or you can say muscle spasms, strain can come. Is that clear? Have I answered your question, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Okay, which asana is best for removing stress and anxiety? Actually, all the asanas, when you start opening up your body, all the muscular stress starts working, releasing, and automatically the movement or the changes you can find it at the mental level. So it's not any particular asana, but yes, Bhujangasana is good, Dhanurasana is good, Adhomukha Svanasana, downward dog is good. But I'm telling you that blood circulation changes, and that then only you work on the mental level. Along with that, Bhramari Pranayam is there, which is good for the stress buster, you can say. So Bhramari in humming bee sound, we will be concluding with the Bhramari Pranayam only. Bhramari is good to remove all kind of the stress and anxiety related disorders. Tell me some yogasana for removing eye stress. There are some netra yoga which is good to practice to remove the strain from the asana eyes. The same way which we have done the neck rotation and the neck movement, you can do with the eyes as well. See the position? Moving I'm keeping my head in the center, moving my eyeballs towards the left side. Both eyeballs should move towards the left side, then coming back to the center, then right side, opening your eyes wide and moving your eyeballs to the left, right, center, up, down, and then rotation of the eyeballs in clockwise and anti-clockwise direction. Then closing your eye tight, open them wide, closing your eye tight, open them wide, then rubbing your palms, shifting your palms on your eyes. So these are all eyes exercises which are good. And balancing asanas, when you start concentrating at one point, You remember that whenever we practice the Vrikshasana, I told you that you have to keep your gaze at one point. That will give you a good balance. So that also, when you start concentrating at one point, that is giving all the eye muscles strength increases. There is a separate meditation in yoga which is called as the Tratak. I usually take the workshops of Tratak. So you check on my Facebook page, Pratiswastya Yoga page, where I continuously take such kind of the exercises or workshops to release all kind of the strength. Okay, another query is I cannot touch my toes, my weight is normal. That's completely fine because your body is stiff. Due to the lack of movement or due to the lack of exercise in your daily life, I don't know what kind of the exercise you are doing, but it is a regular practice. Every day if you do it, the spine becomes so flexible that you can do a good back bend in chakrasana, or you can move your back to the front to the twist also. There are number of asanas, 8.4 million asanas है आपके body के ऊपर काम करने के लिए. So if you practice only 8 भी practice करते हैं तो that will be good. Best time to yoga. Okay, morning time is actually good. It is advisable, but if you don't have a time, that's completely fine if you practice in the evening as well. Evening time is also good, but try to keep some gap in between your food and the yoga practice. Otherwise, it will have the adverse effects on your yoga practice. Is that clear? There are a number of things, and this science is so vast. Yoga science is so vast. That's why I said it's a inner engineering. You people are working on the outer engineering, and I'm also an engineer, electronics and telecommunication engineer. But I have started working on the inner engineering. So you start getting the results once you start doing the practice. Okay. So I think the time is up. We will conclude our session with Bhramari Pranayam. Bhramari is the humming bee sound. In Sanskrit, Bhramar means bhunga, humming bee. So the same way the Bhramar does the sound or the voice, the same sound we have to create within us. And this sound creates or clears your anxious thoughts. Thoughts become very clear. You calm your mind down with the Bhramari Pranayam. First, I will tell you the demonstration, then we will practice it together. Okay. Keeping your back erect. Those who are having the back pain can take the support of wall. Every time when I say back erect, it means your brain is alert. Your mind is alert. Okay. Bhramari Pranayam. There are a number of ways of practicing Bhramari. I will be taking a very simple initial beginner level. See the first. Closing your eyes, giving some time to relax yourself. Just observe your body. Observe your breath here. Inhalation normal. While exhaling, you have to make the sound like humming bee sound, Bhramara sound. Inhale. Okay, so we'll take 3 rounds of Bhramari Pranayam. You have to, exhalation should be longer. You have to make your exhalation prolonged and longer. That is the technique behind this Bhramari Pranayam. So how long you can hold the breath and you can make the vibrations. You can feel the vibrations throughout the body and the head. Calm yourself. Take a deep breath in. Feel the vibrations throughout the body. Feel the vibrations in your head. Remain in silence for a few seconds. Listen to the long, distant sounds that you can hear. Come closer, closer sounds. Make a note of all the sounds that you can hear. Sounds inside your building. Sounds inside your room. Visualize your room, the walls, the ceiling, your body. Visualize yourself sitting in a meditative posture. The body and mind is completely calm, relaxed. Have a beautiful smile on your face. Gently release the mudras. Rub your palms. Shift them on your eyes without touching the eyeballs. Just cupping, transferring the air from your palms to your eyes. Then keep your palms on your ears, neck muscles. Touch each and every body part. Self-touch, self-healing. Touch each and every body part. Our body craves for our self-touch. Open your eyes. Interlock your fingers. Raise your hands up. Stretch the hands nicely. Good. Turn your body towards the left side. Come back to the center. Slowly turning towards the right side. Come back to the center. Bring your hands down. Join the palms together in Namaste position. Parvatasana. Sharanagata Mudra. Surrendering, bend forward. Surrendering to the Mother Earth, nature, respected person, to your Guru, parents. Surrender your ego, fear, anger, anxiety, all the stress and negativity from your body and mind, and get the positivity for the whole day. Inhale, hands up. Gently come up. Now without taking the support, can you come into the standing position? Without taking the support, it's not compulsory, okay? You can take the support and come into the standing position. Come into the standing position. Coming into Tadasana, interlock the fingers, stretch the hands, come up on the toes. Good. Final stretch, happy stretch. Have a beautiful smile on your face. Good. Hands down. Hello. Thank you. Thank you for the session. I hope you enjoyed the session. Any doubts, queries, you can go to my Facebook page, Pratiswastha Yog. There are a number of workshops I conduct for the health related workshops and wellness related workshops, meditation workshops and like different workshops for the beginners to the advanced level. Okay. Any questions, doubts? So cool. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was very
Yeah.
grateful to have such a great personality with us. Your session really gave an energetic kickstart for the day. I would now request our faculty coordinator, Smita Bansode ma'am, to speak a few words.
Thank you, Pratikshita. Thank you very much. I am Smita Bansod on behalf of SAKEC Information Technology Department and SAKEC ACMW. Present vote of thanks. First, I would like to thank our management for providing us the platform to organize this webinar. I also take this opportunity to thank our principal, Dr. Bhavesh Patel sir, for his guidance and provide us the right path toward the success. I would like to thank our HOD ma'am and faculty sponsor of SCM, Ms. Swati Nadkarni, for her continuous support and guidance. I express my sincere gratitude to Ms. Pratishruta Adhikari for sparing his valuable time from her busy schedule and accept this invitation. I want to specify that she was my degree college friend and she worked for IT company also. As she was fascinated about the yoga from college days, now I found that she is expert in this field. She explained us very nicely the yoga steps and motivate us to do the practice to make ourselves healthy. Thank you very much, Pratishruta. I extend
Thank
my
you so much.
I extend my thanks to our team, Mr. Chetan Mahajan, Ms. Foram Patel, and Sanay Shah. Last but not least, all the participants for your active participation. Thank you all for making this event successful. Thank you very much to everybody. Uh, so this is the certificate. The link of feedback form is pasted in a chat box. Participants, please click on that and fill the feedback form.
Thank you so much, guys. Stay happy, stay healthy, practice yoga every day. Okay, goodbye. Have a nice day.